Hello, 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 and welcome to the ENG YNPL review show with Richard and Grace. And we're ready. We've had a week off. Well, you've really had a week off. I haven't. I have been working on other stuff. But it's all set this weekend, Richard, isn't it?
Mate, we've got a great weekend ahead. We've got the finale to the under-13s and under-14s Northern Youth Netball Premier League. We didn't get the finale we desired in the under-13s. We kind of had a plan, but Chester, fair play to them, they got our script. They ruined it. They screwed it up and threw it in the bin. So we had to rewrite a new script. But that's what it's all about. It's about the teams kind of deciding, you know what, we're not going to play to the script, and we're gonna write our own script. But still, a really good lineup of games in the under-13s league, and we've got 3 games in the under-14s league, which will also be very pivotal for a couple of teams in that. But before we kind of delve into this week's games, we've got Grace here from Kingsway Power. She's their superstar centre court wing attack, aren't you, Grace? Yeah. I like wing attacks. They're my favourite position because they're like the Michelangelos of the netball court. You know, 16th Chapel, painting the beautiful wall. They make things happen. They're the creators of how, well, they got to be creative. They got to get the ball into the shooter. But Grace is with us because we want to get her feedback on this week's games. We'll probably talk a little bit about the grand finals, but we're going to do a special grand finals show next week. But Grace, this week you're playing Oldham. It's a game everyone is very aware of the intensity of how much it means to both clubs. But you go into it quite chilled because regardless of you cannot lose basically, because even if you do lose, you win the league regardless, because they will not beat you by 30 or 40 goals or whatever it is. So are you relaxed more than usual about this game, knowing that even if you do lose, it won't have much effect on the overall outcome of who wins the league?
Well, not really, because it's still the fact that as a team we want to beat them, and saying that's quite close to the grand final, we would know that it'll be kind of be another match to say I know anything can happen, but it gives us an identity of what we need to do, if that makes sense. So, if it's wrong, then we can change it.
So momentum for you is important going into the grand finals. You don't particularly want to go into it on the back of a loss. But to be honest, Grace, like you just said there, if you were to lose, this is probably the best time to lose.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Would you? Yeah. So if Oldham have a fantastic game, they win against you, that will just probably give you an insight in what you need to work on. Is that fair in saying that?
But we don't want to lose. We want to win.
No, Kingsway Power teams don't even want to lose at, I don't know,
the car parking space.
Yeah,
going up the stairs. Oh, they want to be first.
Yeah, do you not see it? They run up. But what I love about Kingsway Power players, they have this really North Korean entrance when they walk into the room. So that they're can you give me an insight? Are you not allowed to say hello to me when you walk into the room?
We can say hello.
Because your teams are notorious for every time you walk in. After the game, you girls are amazing. You say, "Yeah, Rich, see you later, mate." But when before the game starts, and I let you into the cauldron, you just breeze past me like I don't even exist. Are you told to do that on purpose? Tell everyone the truth, Grace.
We're getting focused for the game, and we want to be in the zone.
So you don't want to really talk to idiots at the door who are just going to wind you up.
It's not
say yes. Please say yes. Please say yes.
Yeah, Grace doesn't have to talk. She's basically her face is saying all we need to know, and that's don't talk to him, don't engage, just sit down on your bench and be ready for the game.
Get the practice in. I tell you what, I do like obviously seeing them practice, because you start to see how they're throwing the ball. Unless it's near my equipment, which we've told, especially in the south, Yeah, they have this thing, Grace, where they have to practice right near all the receivers that are very expensive. Me and Richard have started my couple. Can you just move down? There's all this hall. Just move down, or this court. Just move down a bit.
But if you're going to have a team, Martin, practicing in front of you, Kingsway Power are the best team. They don't drop balls, mate.
That's a very good point. Yeah, it's a very good point, actually. Yeah.
But
So,
Grace,
there you
we
go,
talked
Grace.
about this
Cool.
in the holding room. Like, so the scenario we have is that you're top and you can't come anywhere but top.
Well, technically, no.
Yeah, well, unless you have a
I'll
disastrous...
lose by 100 goals, but that's fine.
Yeah. That's not going to happen. But then you've got Chester and Oldham fighting for second place. Now, second place is an important position in this league because if you come second, you do not play the winner of your league until the final. Does that make sense? Ooh. So, what I'm trying to say is, Grace, if Oldham comes second, you will not play them again until the final.
If they make it through.
If they make it through to the final.
Oh.
But if Chester win and you beat Oldham, you will potentially play Oldham in the semi-finals.
Dun, dun, dun.
Of the grand final. So who would you rather come second on Saturday, Chester or Oldham? Based on what I've just said. Would you rather play Chester in the semi-finals?
Chester gave them a good go, didn't they? Wasn't it this under 14s?
13s.
Under 13, sorry. That was a good game, wasn't it?
Yeah, they won by 5, yeah.
Yeah.
Go on, Grace.
I don't really mind because they're both like really good teams. I think they'll be both really good at challenge, but we've played Chester more because I think we've played them like 6 times like this year. So like, I don't know.
It seems to me you'd be so. So go. Would you rather like if someone gave me a magic wand now and said, right, your semi-final game will be you pick Grace, Chester, or Oldham. Which one you're picking?
Boo! Gotta have your answer, please.
I don't know.
Well,
if Chester beat Oldham, and then it's like, I don't know. It just depends on the day because like you never know what's going to happen.
We'll catch up with you after the Oldham game then on Saturday, and we'll get your thoughts then. Maybe you might have a different perspective on it. If Oldham beat you by 20, 30 points, then obviously you're going to play Chester, aren't you?
You're making me a bit scared now.
Oh, and another thing. So if you were to lose on Saturday against Oldham and Chester were to win, that means you, Oldham, and Chester will all be on 16 points.
So who are Chester playing?
So Chester are playing Wire.
Well done. Oh.
Yeah. Is it they're playing Wire?
I think it's Grange. Oh, no. Hang on. Yes, they are. So I was going to say Grangetown, but that's Chester B. Sorry.
So if Chester win that game, Oldham win their game, you lose. That means you're all on 16 points.
Mm-hmm.
Would you still feel validated that you are the best team in the league if you all end up on the same points, but you win by goals scored or goal difference?
I don't know because it's like all the teams that are like in the league are really good, and like if we lost, then we'd obviously still be happy that we won. I don't think we would be as happy because we didn't win that much, and like
because it kind of gives people the opportunity to say, well, Kingsway Power won the league, but they didn't win the league because every team was on 16 points. How desperate are you to kind of avoid that and just get the job done, win all 9 games, and kind of validate yourself as the number 1 team in the league? How important is that for you as a player?
100% important.
There you go. Answers the
We'll
question.
find out
Doesn't
Saturday.
it? Nothing more you can add to that.
No other answer. Like, we want to win, and there's like no other choice. Like, we can't go in there and say, "Oh, we're gonna lose."
No, I can imagine.
The worst.
It's going to be a big game.
It's a massive
Yeah.
game. Yeah, there's a lot riding on it.
Well, it should be. But the thing is, it is like a dress rehearsal for the Nationals, because if Oldham were to lose, they're potentially going to meet each other in the semi-finals. Now, the other flip, we're going to get into that in the next part of the show when Grace goes. But Oldham, depending on where they come, they're going to find themselves with a big challenge potentially with one of the teams from the south. So, yeah, it's an important game regardless of whether whether Kingsway Power won the league now already. Coming second is like a mini league victory because of your route to the potential final type of thing. But Grace, looking ahead to the grand finals, big day. We've been talking about the ups and downs of the league. We've been getting to know all the players, but finally on April the 30th, all the talk stops, and you girls, all the teams that have qualified get to finally put to bed who the best team is in the country, bar none. There's no other, there's no, that team wasn't in it. We've got all the best teams in the league, in the country, in this league. So are you looking forward to kind of just putting all the talk to bed and just getting the job done on April the 30th?
Yeah.
And as a player, what is it do you want? Is it a perfect platform for you to showcase how good you are as a player against all the best players in the country?
Well, I don't know. I just need to go out there and show everyone, because we're not individuals. We all work as a team. And I think that's what's good about our team. We don't work for ourselves. We kind of work together. And if something doesn't go right, we don't all scream at each other. We all kind of help each other to bring it back up again. So it's it doesn't really matter as long as we win.
Again, are you confident you will win? Yeah?
Yeah.
You reckon Eagles, last season's champions, you're not worried about them at all? Or Cross? Well, you probably won't know much about Cross Keys. You never played them before, but they're a very talented side. Do you go into it fully confident that you've got enough talent in your team to win this competition?
Well, we've never seen them type of team before, and I don't think we've played many people that are from the south. So I don't know. It might be a different match, but we have to adapt to it and just play how we play.
Well, we know who you're playing in the quarterfinals. It's Ryland. Do you know much about them at all?
I think I know one of the players, but I can't remember what she's called.
It wouldn't be Ruby at all, would it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she plays centre court or wing. Does she play centre or wing attack?
I don't know. I haven't seen her in a year.
Okay, well, you'll be locking horns with some talented mid-court players. Ryland, again, you probably haven't played him too much, but happy with that fixture? Are you confident you can get that one done and move on to the semi-finals?
We've never actually played them, but if we played them and then because the first game is always a bit not shaky, but there was the first quarter. So as long as we win that one, it's kind of out of the way, and then we know that we've only got we need to just win every game, so just take it by the steps, I guess.
Well, you don't want to lose your first one, that's for sure.
No,
that definitely won't be a good start to the day. But
Grace,
overall,
will you be checking? Sorry, go on, man. Go on.
I was about to say, overall, Grace, have you enjoyed the league? You've enjoyed the experience?
The only thing is the music.
What about the music?
Oh, hang on, stop the press. What's going on here about the music? I like the music.
Grace, go on. What's the matter with my music? Go on.
It's always the same music.
All right, and I've actually got a pen and paper for you on purpose. Give me 3 songs to put on my playlist for Saturday. No swearing in it, though.
I don't know.
If you kids,
you can't come at Richard like that and not have any tunes that you want to put on.
Go on.
What was the
3 songs, Grace.
What was the song that Lily told you to play last time?
I think it was Van Morrison. She said to play, didn't she, Lally?
I don't know. One of them was from.
When it's Waddy Waddy. Mr.
Lionel
Blobby?
Richie. Did she say play Lionel Richie?
I'm gonna ask. Should I ask someone?
No, great. No, great. You just insulted.
Who wants to be a millionaire? I got to phone a friend.
Come on, one's all right, Grace. I'll make it easy for you. One song you think will hype up my event because apparently my music's terrible. Go on.
I'll tell you what, I want to throw this out as well into the comments, people. I want to see people comment, parents, all the people who obviously come and watch and should actually come and watch as well, by the way, because it's amazing to watch these athletes. What do you think? Because I get people who walk past say thank you and love the music, but that's coming from parents and guardians and stuff.
It's good atmosphere, but like every time you play it, it's always been the same music.
Well, give me one song, Grace, and I can add it to the playlist.
Grace, I'm going to say this, right, is you don't have to spend 3 hours going up the motorway with him, with his music content, and 3 hours back.
There you go. You're lucky.
Very lucky.
I think Grace is getting the. I think you got to go training soon, haven't you, Grace?
I don't know. But can you play We Are the Champions?
I've got that on.
I was going to say he's got that.
No, I haven't got it. I haven't got it on my one.
We Were There.
That is by Queen, isn't it?
Yes.
Because I've got a couple of Queen songs. I've got another one, Bites the Dust.
Yeah,
classic.
Yeah.
And I've got another one, Bites the Dust. What's the other one I've got?
Who Wants to Live Forever?
We Are the Champions, not a problem. But still didn't come from you, did it, Grace?
What about? I don't know.
Go on. One song. Just give me one. You can't insult my music and not give me at least one. Mate.
It's the hardest thing, isn't it? Put somebody on the spot. Come on, Grace, quick. Top of your head. What music do you like right at this moment? What really if you hear it, you go, yeah, this is a tune, man. I know I'm old, everybody, before you put it out there in the comments that I'm old statement that I've just said. But what would you say? If you woke up in the morning, you put the radio on and you heard this tune, you'd be like, banging. Like, I've just thought of one straight over in my head. Fresh Prince Bel-Air, summertime. I'd be like, yeah, summer's here. So what would you be like? What tune would?
Go on, great. What's going to make you play harder?
A motivational song. That's what we do. Is when we do before we warm up in matches, we go into we get playlists on Google and put in motivational music, and it just comes up.
You don't even choose yourself.
I'll get some motivational speaker to come in and shout that. But Grace, you are an exceptional player. The league is built for players like you because it's a great way to showcase your talent. I'm glad you've enjoyed the league, but you still got a lot of work to do before we finish. We end this journey for the season. Big game against Oldham. You're confident you can get that win. Then moving into the grand finals, big day as well. But we look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Before you go, I know you got to go. Are you going to watch any of the live streams to practice, to work out what the teams are doing or how they're playing?
Martin, Lauren is Lauren will not watch a live stream.
Do they have they're the ones who have a pizza night, don't they? Or whatever. They have a night.
No. Their head coach, Lauren, no stone would be not unturned in this one. Trust me.
They're telling I see her in 20 minutes.
Yeah, Lauren doesn't mess around.
But Lauren doesn't. But Grace, do you watch it? You do? Okay.
We watched the interview of Oldham when they said we don't care about Kingsway.
Well,
stir it out.
well, what's your reply back to that, Grace?
Well, what?
What?
Have you got to go now, Grace?
Okay. Thank you for being on.
We'll see you Saturday, Grace. Good
Thank
luck.
you.
Good luck. Yeah, very good luck.
Bye.
Bye. Cool, mate. That's brilliant.
See that they insult the music, but they don't want to offer no alternative tracks, do they?
Well, what's interesting there from that statement was we type it into Google and it gives us the motivation. Now, I know if, to me, you got to know some tracks. Like I said, like Summertime comes straight in my head. I don't know why, but I love that. That's kind of gets me like, yeah, that's a good tune. Especially if I've got to drive somewhere. You kind of know the tunes, You have a tune inside you. What's your favorite if you're in that scenario then?
Well, my music taste all depends on my mood, but leading up to
I know that.
leading up to a big grand final,
yeah,
like Eminem, Dr. Dre, Tupac.
Yeah.
I'll probably put a bit of the British grime music on. Just, do you know what it is? Because I feel like I'm in war mode, and I need to be. I'm at a very heightened state of emotion, so I need
consciousness.
to kind of,
Better Josh Wink
push me through. But once the events end, I have that kind of chill out music where it just winds me back down again. So that antidepressant music, which gets me back on. Once all the complaints come through, get the antidepressant music on.
Oh, the complaints. Forgot.
So there you go. But let's have a look at, Martin, the fixtures for the under-13s this Saturday.
Yes, why not? Let's just bring it in there. Let's have a look. Under-13s. We are. Oh no, I'll leave that there because that's on another tab. There we go.
Okay, so it's got a good round. This is a really good fixture list this weekend. So we've got Chester taking on Grangetown. So the bottom two teams in the bottom three going head to head. Grangetown against Chester. If Grangetown win, that'll be their second win in a row. They are relatively safe from relegation based on their goal difference over Ellesmere Port. If you look there, it's relatively safe. I believe they get the win in that game. They have improved a lot this season. And if they can end the season on a win, happy days. Next up, very good game, Saddleworth versus Macclesfield. Two teams who qualified for last season's grand finals, but unfortunately haven't qualified this season. But a very good game with two sets of players who have a lot of character. They're just good. They're just good competitive teams, and that's going to be a good, solid game of netball. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out, and also again going into next season, having that win going into next season just gives you that little bit more momentum. It just helps, doesn't it? Big game for Chester against Wyre. Wyre have had a very indifferent season because of injuries. So they could potentially disrupt Chester. Chester need to win in order to try and put Oldham under pressure to come. Yeah. So if you come in third place, there is the likelihood you might play top from the north in the semi-finals. So to kind of avoid that outcome, you need to come second, which means you'll play the top from the south potentially in the same. So you don't get away with it.
No, you don't. No.
You don't get
away from Kingsway Power, for instance. Then
you definitely don't get away with it. So there is, but coming second in terms of how it all works out, does help with your path to the final. So Chester need to be ready for that game. They need to have the same kind of mindset they did against Oldham and against Oaksway. But if Wyre have got a full team, we could see a shot, and it wouldn't be too much of a shock because Wyre are a very good team. They beat Chester last season, Wyre have got kind of nothing to play for in terms of qualifying for the top four or getting relegated, so they can just enjoy their netball play with relative freedom, express themselves. But Chester have the pressure. Not only do they want to come second to have an easier route to the final in the grand finals, it's a silver and bronze medal up for grabs. So silver, in my eyes, is better than bronze. So that's what they're playing for. Ellesmere Port versus Oaksway. Ellesmere Port, it's going to be a tough one. They need to win it, and they need to win it well. But they are playing Oaksway, who have done very well this season. But they probably would be frustrated at how they did against the top three. All their losses have come against the top three. But again, they'll be looking to finish off with a solid win, which will take them into the grand finals with a victory and that kind of confidence and momentum. Because we know who Oaksway are playing in the grand finals, and that's Eagles Netball Club from the south. Now, it's a heavyweight game in the quarterfinals. Now, Eagles are a good team, don't get me wrong, but Oaksway are going to give them a tough game. And for me, it's a 60-40%. I think 60% I'm swaying towards Eagles, 40% I'm swaying towards Oaksway, but a solid game of netball. And going into that game, you want to have as much confidence as possible. So maybe Ellesmere Port, getting a good win against Ellesmere Port will give them that confidence. But Ellesmere Port haven't done as well as they did last season, but the league is a lot tougher. But good team, honest team. And I'm sure they give Oaksway a good run for their money, because that's what it's all about. Then finally, in the final game of the season, in the under-13 section, Oldham will take on Kingsway Power. Forget what's happened in the past. It all comes down to what happens in the 36 minutes in our sports hall. And for Oldham, if they want to potentially avoid Kingsway Power in the semis, if they get past their quarterfinals, because there's no guarantees, that they're playing second in the south if they come third, which is Cross Keys, a very dangerous team, a team that's unknown, which gives them a bit of an edge, because no one knows too much about them. But that's why the live stream is so important, because if you want to know about them, you can access their games. But yeah, that'll be a tough game if they come third. But if they do get past Cross Keys, they know they most probably will be playing Kingsway Power in the semi-finals, unless Ryland can cause a huge shock in the quarter-final game. So nothing's guaranteed, but based on form, it will potentially look like if Oldham get past Cross Keys, they will have to play Kingsway Power in the semi-finals. Now, if you ask any competitor, you'd rather play them in the final, not the semi-finals. So if they come second, they will avoid that, and it will be Kingsway Power in the final if they get that far, and if Kingsway Power get that far. But if they come third, then their route to the final will become a lot more difficult, unfortunately. So Chester and Oldham, for me, second place actually in this league, when you look at the route to the final, is actually a mini league victory.
Yeah.
It is 100% like a mini league victory, because when you look at let me just give you an idea of the potential routes to the final. So I've got it all on here. To all the teams out there, I have changed the format slightly on April the 30th, but it doesn't change the system of who teams play. It's just a case of giving adequate resting time to the majority of the teams.
Are you going to share your screen so we can see it?
I don't know how to do it.
There's this button that says share screen. Right. All right, calm down. This is that football instinct. Oh, where? Don't now. Do you see the three little dots? No, it's not there. No, it should be. My system setup's different than yours, but it should say at the bottom there's blocks. You've got mute, stop cam, and settings, and you should have one there that says share screen.
Microsoft Teams. Oh, mine. You know, I'm a bit pitiful when it comes to technology.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm just going to load it up on my phone so that I can actually direct you properly. That's probably a better idea, because let me just do this, because at least then if I'm on there, you want an iPad or anything?
Say again.
Are you on an iPad or something?
No, I'm on a laptop.
You're on a laptop, so it should be at the bottom hand corner. Oh, let me turn on my sound. Oh, hang on. Maybe I can do it then. Oh, there we go.
Well, don't worry too much about it because I'll briefly go through it. So, if Chester, just say if Chester comes second, they're going to be playing AP Saints, who come third in the South. Now, for me, most of these games are whoever blinks first wins type of thing. But let's just go on form of where they come in the league. So, considering Chester potentially might come second, we can say right, second beats third from the South.
Yep.
So if Chester beat AP Saints, they will then play potentially game one, the winning team from game one in actually the route to the finals. So basically, Chester will play either Eagles or Oaksway in the semi-finals. Then potentially it might be either Kingsway Power. It could be who would Kingsway Power's route be? Kingsway Power be first, second. It'd be Cross Keys at Oldham. It'd be Cross Keys, Oldham, Kingsway Power, Ryland in the final. So Chester, if we go on form and we go on where the team's finished, Chester's route to the final could be, if they come second, AP Saints, Eagles, and Kingsway Power.
Right.
And that's based on form. So if no one turn around and say, oh, he's predicting that, that's just based on where teams have come in the league. I'm just giving them the win. Right. So, but remember, everyone, no team that won the league last season won our grand final. So we'll always remember that.
Oh, yeah.
But if you come third, so say if Oldham come third, they will play Cross Keys. If they get past Cross Keys, they'll play the winner of Kingsway Power Ryland. So we expect Kingsway Power to be the winner there. So it'd be Cross Keys, Kingsway Power. Then again, based on form, Eagles. So that route to the final for me personally is a lot tougher. Cross Keys is a very, very tough game, a very unpredictable team. They've got a superb centre court player who I believe will go on to be an England player. She's that good.
Okay.
Sorry for putting the pressure on.
Too late, mate. You've done it now. I'm going to...
Gracie, if you're watching from Cross Keys, I'm sorry. I've put the pressure on big time there. But they've got fantastic defenders. They've got great shooters. So that's a very tough game for any team, to be honest. But then if Oldham get past that, or if Chester come third and get past that, then they play potentially Kingsway Power, which we all know you're going to have to be stupidly on your game to get a win out of that one. So coming second, even though the path is still difficult,
it's not as difficult.
It's not as difficult. There is a bit of light
at the end of least resistance, isn't it?
Yeah. It is. And do you know what? When we do a review show next week, it'd be interesting to see like clubs like Kingsway Power and Eagles who have won the league. It'd be interesting to see who they have rather have played, or it'd just be good to get an insight into how they're thinking. But look, for me, Kingsway Power, if they get the win, for me, Kingsway Power won't be happy if they lost that game and still won the league.
Yeah.
They're going to want to be validated by proving that they are the best team based on wins, not so much. Yeah. So for them, it's pride is on the line, and going into the grand finals, they're going to kind of want that momentum. But at the same time, if they do lose, then at least they've got time to figure out why they lost. So,
I honestly, I think there'll be some dissecting going on if they lose.
Yeah,
there is no reason for them. That's how from what Grace was just saying, their attitude is, straight in there. We're going to win. You know, I mean, it's the persona, and that's what scares a lot of, I reckon, players or teams. You can just see, like you said, they walk in, they blank you totally. You know, they're in the zone, mate. And if they lose, I think they'll be. If anything, if they lost, I would say this: it could be their downfall because they're going to panic mode. Why did they lose?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I get what you're saying, because then the self-doubt creeps in, doesn't it?
Yeah, we actually
But then-
didn't. Yeah,
But then sometimes when you go into these bigger, like, I always think the league is like winning the battle. The grand finals is winning the war. So if you look back to last season, right, Eagles come third in the league,
yeah, right.
but they won the grand finals. Everyone's always going to remember who won the grand finals. No offense to any of the teams here, but this is reality. No one's going to really remember who were the Southern Conference champions that season.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
Because Eagles, they lost the battle, but they went and won the war. So
Yeah,
sometimes going into these things,
a bit like Turnford.
yeah, the same with Turnford. Like,
Yeah.
Paul won the league, and fair play to him. Again, Paul won the league this season, but Paul haven't proven at a national level that they're the best.
Yeah, yeah.
So they've only proved it at a kind of at a
Local
regional
level.
Yeah, local level.
Local.
There's no such thing as
regional.
local in netball.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. Sometimes going into these events, having that prestige works against you.
Mm.
Sometimes having that, having that kind of being humbled before the event actually allows you to be more competitive, and it allows you to be clearer in how you are and how you compete. But at the same time, we all react differently to things, and yeah, I think there's good and bad that could come out of it. Like you said, they could go into it rattled and have self-doubt, or they could go into it and think, brilliant, you've allowed us to work on what we need to work on prior to the national finals. It's a bit like me. It's a bit like you making a mistake at the league on Saturday, but then saying, brilliant, like I know I won't make that mistake at the grand finals, which for you is the big one for you. So if you can eradicate problems before the
main event,
the main event, then that does help. But at the same time, you know, you could have a problem on just say, for instance, on the league game, and that panics you into thinking, oh no, I can't, you know, I can't have that problem again on the main day. Then you don't work to the same capacity because you're too worried that it might go wrong again. And
also obviously because we live stream as well, other teams can pick up on that and go, hang on, they got rattled with that when that happened, so we can pick on that because that's a weak point in their armor. Because at the moment, Kingsway don't have any weak points of their armor.
No.
But for instance, if something did happen and they did lose, I think people would be watching that game going, ha ha, right. Training that next week will be very intense on that weakness. I can guarantee you, everybody will be concentrating on that. But that's what you would normally do, and that's what you check for, isn't it? Weakness. So, this weekend's going to be interesting.
But it's a big one, I think, because, you know, ideally we was kind of hoping to have that climax of who's going to win the league type of thing. But at the same time, there's still a lot of pressure on, because for me, Kingsway Power want to validate why they're the best. And I don't think they're going to be, but if I pass them that trophy on Saturday, but they've drawn on points with two other teams, it won't be as special for them. I know that for a fact.
Okay.
Because I know if I was a child, well, when I was playing like competitive sport at a young age, I would be the same. That would irritate me. So that's for Kingsway Power. It's massive that they validate that they're the best by getting the win.
Agreed.
For Oldham, it's about making sure they get the best path possible in the grand finals to maximize the opportunity. But at the same time, if they can prove they can beat Kingsway Power on Saturday, then they've just basically said, don't care what you bring on the Saturday after, because we know how to beat you. So it's a psychological war.
Yes.
Between the two teams. So I still think the game will still have a lot of intensity, and Oldham will put up a good fight. And again, they're so talented that anything can happen. And we create the environments where anything can happen. And it should be a really good game. But I'm going to go through very quickly. So I think Grangetown will win. I think Saddleworth Macclesfield, good. Ooh. Solid game. I'm going to go for Macclesfield. Jody, don't hate me for that.
I'm going with Saddleworth.
Cool. Why Chester? If Chester perform the way I know they can, I'm going to give Chester the win there, because they've been immense this season. Apart from one game, they have been immense. Ellesmere Port Oaksway, I'm going to go Oaksway win, and Oldham Kingsway Power. I would like to be a wind up and say Oldham, but I cannot. I think Kingsway Power have got this one, but again,
I think Oldham will have it. I think Oldham are going to put a chink in the armour, personally.
Cool.
Let's do it.
That is the roundup for the under 13s.
You're going to give me the evils as they walk past. If they lose, you know that, don't you? Somebody sat there like, sorry.
The amount of people who say to me, I proved you wrong. It's actually good fun. So,
I love it.
But let's head into the under 14s.
Scroll down. There we go.
We've got a few pullouts in this one, so I'll update everyone on that. So DNA against South Ribble, Oaksway under 13s. They're going to take the place of DNA in this game because number one, they're travelling far and they want to maximise the amount of game time they get, and number two, they want good match play before the grand finals next week. So Oaksway, we're just going to call them DNA. Let's stuff it. But it will be Oaksway under 13s versus South Ribble. South Ribble are up for it. They said, you know what? Let's do it. So fair play to them. So that game is going ahead. Then Wyre and Kingston. Unfortunately, Kingston couldn't get a team. Wyre weren't too bothered because they've got an outdoor competition on that day as well. So it kind of worked out for the best. There's nothing in there would, Kingston were relegated anyway. Wyre, even though they had two good wins at the back end of the season, they couldn't make the top four. So it probably worked out for the best for both teams, to be honest, based on their commitments. Right. Since this is I'm looking forward to this one. This is a cool game because Saddleworth, they've just stealthily put themselves in a position to potentially qualify for the grand finals. And this would be one of the stories of the season, if you ask me.
Oh,
they've been silently.
I'm asking you. People. I'm asking you, Richard.
Go on.
I'm asking you. You said if we got about Saddleworth. Yeah, go on.
So I think they've stealthily just put themselves in a position where you kind of blinked and went, "Wow, they can actually qualify for the grand finals." And they've improved massively. I remember at the start of the season thinking, "Okay, they're okay, but." Maybe not top four material type of thing. But as the weeks or the rounds have gone by, they've been absolutely superb. And you can feel their confidence growing with every single game they play. So they've got a huge opportunity to kind of create one of the big upsets of the season and put themselves in a competition with the big boys. So we're
going to give them a nickname, Slow Burning Saddleworth, because they're on fire now, aren't they? That's what you're saying, basically.
They're like the plane that you can't recognize on the satellite. I'm gonna call them the stealth bombers.
Okay, come on, everybody, put in the comments. Give us a sniper Saddleworth. There you go.
It's because quietly just chopping away. But Chester, based on their performance against Kingsway Power, where they only lost by 1.
Ooh, yes.
If they perform to that level, I think it'll be Chester who go on and qualify.
Yes. But Chester's done remarkable, to be fair. That game was immense. So
no, it's a good game, but I think Chester, sometimes you just don't know what you're getting in terms of, is it going to be a very high level performance, or is it going to be kind of good to average type of performance. You just don't know sometimes. They're a quality team. And on their day, they can give, I was saying to the Poole Netball Club coach, I said, if you were to play Chester, don't think that's going to be a win, like a guaranteed win. Because if these guys rock up and they play like I know they can play, you're going to be shocked. You could find yourself in the 5th to 8th playoff because they're not a team you can take lightly, like Kingsway Power found out. If you take and it's a game they should. I always go back to it. It should have been. It's King. They literally let Kingsway Power off that game. That game should have been won by Chester, and they shouldn't be in this position because they should have got the win against Kingsway Power, but they didn't, and they find themselves in a 50-50 shootout against Saddleworth. And if Saddleworth bring their A game, they start well, they get under the skin of Chester in terms of disrupting their mentality and their focus and stuff like that. Again, we could see an underdog story here, and very much looking forward to that game.
I am. Yes.
Very good game to finish off. Well, second from last game to finish off the season. But our main game, the main game of the day is Ellesmere Port versus Kingsway Power. Now, Ellesmere Port can't come anywhere but third based on their goal difference. Let me just double check that. Yeah. So Ellesmere Port, even though they've done incredible this season, they've won 7 out of 8 games. They find themselves with too much to do in regards to their goal difference. Yeah. So we've got the same scenario. The under-13s could end up with 3 teams of 16 points, and so could the under-14s. So for me, Ellesmere Port, when they watch that Chester game, will be thinking, we can beat these.
Yeah.
And I think even though Ellesmere Port won this league last season, this particular team won this league last season, if they draw on points with the top 3 teams, for them, they'll be like, we still are the top team. Big deal. We got beat by goals. And what? But we still prove that we are the top team in the league. So for them, that will be a great it end up with a great season for them, regardless of that one loss. But going into the grand finals, if they get the win against Kingsway Power, they're going to be super confident that they can beat Eagles, which is their game in the grand finals. Eagles versus Ellesmere Port, which is round 2. They played each other last season in the quarterfinals. Ellesmere Port won. So Eagles are coming back at them this season, hoping to get some redemption.
Yeah.
But at the same time, how determined are Ellesmere Port to stop Kingsway Power winning a hat trick of leagues? They've won the under-12s. They've won the under-13s. They could be the first team ever. I know it's not been going long, but records are records.
Yeah.
The first team ever to win every single league. So are Ellesmere Port thinking, because I know what I would be like, I would want to be the party pooper.
Yes.
Turn the music off. No more dancing. Get out.
What are you going to do that for? Because I can. And I did.
Yeah, that's how I would look at it. From an Ellesmere Port perspective, I'd think, I wouldn't mind just disrupting your party.
Yeah. They never give in anyway, Ellesmere Port. I think they're a good side. And, like I said, I've got that. I don't know if it's from the early days of obviously the lockdown and stuff. It's yeah. They don't turn up to lose. So that's an interesting one, that. And if they do pull that off, that will be a shocker.
Well, what they do is they kind of stop the party for Kingsway Power. So they stop the music, throw Kingsway Power out the house. Then what they do is they take their ghetto system and the food and they take it to Grangetown's house. Because then Grangetown will become champions off the back of that.
Yes, exactly.
So it'd be interesting to see how many people will be tuning in from
Grangetown,
Middlesbrough. on Saturday.
Keep an eye on the figures. Yeah, have an
Yeah.
update.
So if you're in if you are a
Have the
Grangetown player,
teleprinter going down the bottom.
yeah,
17 people, 30 people. Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised because Grangetown, if Grangetown win this league, it'd be fantastic.
The roof will be on fire.
No, because you know what? Grangetown have been playing in my competition since I begun. They've
Yes,
been
they have, yeah.
they've embraced everything I've put on. They're a team that are in a certain part of the country, which means they have to constantly travel minimum of 2 hours all the time.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So when teams say to me, "Oh, we've got to travel here, we've got to travel there," it grinds on me a little bit because I see teams like Grangetown and Oaksway just to go to a local league where the competition is at adequate standard. They've got to drive 2 hours.
Oh.
So the commitment the parents make and the club make to make sure the kids get the best quality competition is off another level. So if they were to win this will just validate the amount of work that goes into that club and how much they support the kids. But Kingsway Power are obviously wanting to win this league, and they ain't gonna let no one turn that ghetto blaster off.
That's guarded with dogs, rifles, barbed wire.
If you turn that off, I'm calling up my brother and his mates.
We're coming down, man. Coming down. Sorting this out.
So that's a great game to end the day. Will Ellesmere Port, will they get the win, which will give them a huge confidence boost going into the grand finals? It will also spoil Kingsway Power's party on their league kind of victory. And will they gift wrap the league title to Grangetown?
Not much pressure, Ellesmere Port.
It's all kicking off. It's going to be a great game, great atmosphere. I know games at a local level and a regional level have been relatively close between these two teams. So again, it's the ENG world, and if it's going to happen, it's going to happen in our world. So good luck to Ellesmere Port.
Grangetown, what you need to do is actually, pay for your seat, come down and cheer on Ellesmere Port. Imagine that. It's like sold out. What's going on there? It was like,
that'd be nice.
Yeah, it'd be nice. It'd be great. If I've got some more seats in as well, be double tiered. There you go. It'd be like everybody's rooting on. It'd be very an interesting one. I'm looking forward to it. So,
but yeah, duct tape the seats to the wall. That'd be good.
Duct tape's wicked, mate. Duct tape. Come on. Duct tape.
Monkey tape.
Gritter tape.
Gritter tape. That's it.
Yeah.
But before we go, Martin, there's a massive reason why these teams need to kind of. So Kingsway Power and Grangetown, we know Ellesmere Port, Chester or Saddleworth can't come anywhere but where they are now. So Saddleworth, if they can't come higher than fourth. Chester can't come any higher than fourth. Ellesmere Port will not come any higher than third. So that leaves Grangetown and Kingsway Power in a situation where one of those teams will have to play Turnford in the quarterfinals.
Oh, right.
Now, for kind of the event, the build up to the event, the under-14s event, if I actually said this stuff, I think to Lauren from Kingsway Power, part of me wants them to lose because a Kingsway Power Turnford quarterfinal is just too epic.
I know where you're going with it. Yeah.
That's what dreams are made of, isn't it?
Exactly. Yes.
So if Kingsway Power lose, they're going to play Turnford in the quarterfinals because Turnford come third in our southern competition. If Grangetown comes second, obviously they're going to play Turnford as well, which again is a game they lost last season too. I don't think it. If Turnford do play Grangetown, I don't think that's a game they should overlook at all because the improvement Grangetown have made this season has been incredible. So that is still, for me, a 50-50 shootout. That's a fantastic game. But if you come top, you play CD Phoenix. So both teams are going to want that outcome because obviously you're going to want to play the 4th place team in the South because on paper they come 4th and they're not as good as the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd teams.
Yeah.
But if whoever comes second gets Turnford, and if it is Kingsway Power, I'm actually going to get ready for one of those teams to leave and not play their 5th to 8th game playoffs.
It's going to be like that, is it?
Like it's going to be one of those ones where we're going home.
About it. I've done.
We're done. We've travelled whatever miles from Manchester or Hertfordshire. Well, Hertfordshire is not far, but if it's Kingsway Power, it's these teams don't play for 5th to 8th position. It's not in their DNA. So if that was to happen, it's going to be one. I'm leaving. I'm out of here.
They're all good sports. They'll stay because they're good sports. But that's the thing, though, isn't it? Actually, finishing that far down scenario actually has an impact on the team, especially if they play as good as that they do. It's hang on, we don't want to finish there. So yeah, would they be angry? Whoa, that's a good one actually, because you get a bit stroppy when you lose, don't you?
I get I get stroppy. Yeah. Okay, I don't know what makes me bad manners make me stroppy.
Oh yeah, bad manners makes me really stroppy.
I think sometimes I'm doing the score taking. Well, I don't do the score. I just sit there and just enjoy the game. Poor Cara has to do the score taking. But sometimes when people run up to us and they just kind of like, I don't mind being wrong. I never mind being wrong. But just talk to me in a respectful way, because I will talk to everyone in a respectful way. But they come up to you and they just, and you're like, you just instantly switch off and you think, Cara, add a few goals to the other team, please.
You never say that. You never say it. You look it up to the point where you even stop the live stream and rewind and we go back through it and count the goals.
You can't get a fairer league than us. We do everything we can to facilitate, and we also do everything we can to make it as fair as possible. And it's going to be a great finale once again. But the reason I think like this format we have actually, like, for instance, England Netball national events, they bring the top 16 or 17 teams, or no, top 18 teams from across the country.
Right.
But those teams are recognized as the best in their regions. So a team in, say, the Midlands who wins their Midlands regionals, they will go to the nationals as the best Midlands team.
Yeah.
But what we've done is we've put the best Midlands teams, the best Southwest teams, the best Southeast teams, the best Northern teams, Northwest teams or Northeast teams, the best Yorkshire teams all into one league. And we've said we want the top four. We want the top four from each league. We want to identify the top four from each league.
Yeah.
So we now know that the top 8 teams there are the best in the region. So from Birmingham, from the Midlands down, we know we've got the top 4 best teams, bar none, in the country. There's no other top 4 team that is going into that competition who's better than the top 4 teams. We know that for the North as well. We know that the top 4, especially in the 12s and 13s, there could be an argument for the under 14s, but for the 12s and 13s, we know in particular, you're not going to have a better team in those 4 teams. So then we bring them together, and the first game you play is literally do or die instantly. It's, if I lose, I'm going to go to the 5th to 8th playoff. If I win, I go to the 1st to the 4th.
Yeah.
So the stakes are so high. Whereas in the England Netball one, they have a day where they figure out where you place. Then they figure out whether you go into the 15th to 18th bracket or the 12th to 11th to 14th, and they try and dissect it in a bigger way. But we've already identified what they try to identify at an England national event. We've identified that already. So what they do on the first day, we've done already.
Yeah.
We've
through
identified those
the
teams
season.
already.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is far more intense for the teams because they know their first game is against the top 4 best team in the South from the Midlands down, and vice versa for the South. They know that. There's no getting away from that aspect. So it's more intense. It's more full on. It's high. It's obviously more pressurized. And for me, for England netball in particular, I think this is the format they should be following as a national organisation. And I'm not saying that because it's mine. It's because it's so much more transparent.
Yeah.
Because I think then instead of having the top 18 teams go into the nationals, you can cut that in half and have the premiership, have the top, say, 8 teams in one section, and the top other 8 teams in another section have the first division and the second division. So then at least the teams that who compete for 9th to 16th, they can have a sense of achievement that they're the best within that bracket. Then if they win that, they qualify for the bigger one next season type of thing. But that's how I would do it. What do I know?
Exactly, dude. But definitely well worth watching. Definitely well worth being there. The roof's going to lift, and when the championships come around, mate,
the games are off the scale. They are like. Let me give you an example.
Championships. I'm looking forward to the championships. Definitely.
We're going to do a special show next week, but let me give you an example of the under 12 fixtures. So the under 12 fixtures are like every game is just brilliant. So you got, for me, the first game is just brilliant because it's so unpredictable. It's a joke. It just depends who turns up and again, it's who blinks first scenario. Stars versus Wire will be your opening game. Then you have Oldham versus Sutton Town. Then you have Kingsway Power versus Eagles and Turnford and Leeds. The 2 standout games is the Stars, Wire, Turnford, Leeds. Like all those games there are just incredible games with super talented players, super talented teams. And it's just and regardless of where you come, whether it's the 5th to 8th or the 1st to the 4th, every game is of the highest quality. And that's what this league is about. It's about giving these kids the best quality netball at this age group.
Yes.
And you think the teams going to the England Netball Nationals this season, majority of them have played against each other in my league this season. They played against each other last season. So they've got two years of experience. So potentially that event should be a lot more competitive because these teams know each other more inside out because they've had more opportunity to play each other.
Yes.
Send me the check in the post.
Okay, right. Do they still do checks? Do we still do checks? Don't know. But it's one to watch, without a doubt. Be there, the atmosphere. I remember last year it was rocking. It was amazing. You could feel, the pressure. You could feel. Again, the one of the games I remember last year. I mean, the championship. It does take on a different world. It really does for me when I'm there again. Bury versus.
Well, you're thinking of a netball cup event, aren't you?
Yeah. That but that sort of atmosphere, that sort of pressure,
it's amazing.
It's just who was it? It was Bury and
MK Dons.
Yeah, MK Dons. That last year, that's the game that stood out for me. But when you look at this season alone, I mean the Poole versus Turnford game and the first quarter, especially when I looked over at you. I like to think of these memories, and that's a memory that I think will always stay. Me looking over you, and you just went because it was like, madness. And then you got obviously Chester versus Kingsway Power, and how that was all going, in a season game. there's a lot going on, and you can tell the pressure's there with all these teams. Then they're not easy; they are hard. And like you've got your slow burners, like you say, your Saddleworths, and them all coming in, and then like you're saying, top 4, North and South, playing against each other. You've made a good cake, my friend. It's a one to watch, whether recommended by person, because the atmosphere, and you see the build up of it even before they come onto the courts. But if you can't do that, watch it live. It's like I say, it's the ingredients you've put together, Mr. Tweed, is exceptional.
Well, again, you only can provide the platform, but you need the clubs and the players to immerse themselves in it. And to be fair to the netballers, it seems to me that they don't have to enjoy it, they don't have to partake in it, but they seem to want to embrace it because they've got the personality to do it. You can't create a film and get a bog standard actor and think you're going to sell X amount of cinema tickets. You need the right actors, you need the right characters to bring forth what you want from the film. And I have a vision of what I want to achieve, but I need the right people and the right team, the right characters to facilitate the story I'm trying to tell. And credit, and I'm nothing without my actors. And they embrace it. They do the interviews, and they're good fun with the interviews. They come on the review shows, and they
get my equipment.
Yeah, they're good fun. They immerse themselves in your live stream, and they watch that. So they're playing their part well. And like I said, when I used to do active gamers, if the more they give me, I'll give them 10 times more back. If they continue to support what I'm trying to achieve, and that is just to take their sport at a youth level to a completely different level, the rewards and the experience they're going to be offered is going to just continue to go through the roof. And that all depends on how much they want to support and embrace it. But if they continue to do it, I can assure you now, the experience will just get better. It will get better. And they can walk away from netball when they're at an age where they don't want to play it no more. And they look back on it and think, wow, what a great time I had. And that's what sport is all about. It's about creating those memories where they can just think, you know what, great time I had. At the time, it was absolutely petrifying. I felt sick leading up to these games.
Hang on, look. If I've got an FBL Broadcasting on YouTube, look, I can see it here because we start to push stuff onto YouTube anyway. We'll be like that. See my face. Look at my face.
Yeah. So
I was petrified. I was scared. Do you know what I see? Again, we've chatted about this many times before, and it's about building legacy as well.
Yeah.
And like for me, I'm trying to help people build legacy, raise the platform, allow making local global. It's one of my little catch words, or catch whatever they call it. And I see that, and I hope, and I know it will happen, is that they'll become mums, and then they'll show their daughters, and they'll be like, see, I was scared like that, or I was like this when I was in the finals, and they'll say, look, see, watch me how I play. So what you're going through is blah, blah, blah. I've been there. You know what teenagers are like? They know it all. See, I can prove, child. There you go. So, that legacy bit's there as well. And yeah, sorry, mate. Interrupted you a bit there.
No. That's what I'm saying. It's all about legacy. And even in the program I've been doing, there's a bit in there with kind of a legacy table. So it's a table of achievement from, so it's based on where teams have come to the teams that have come in the top 3 of the grand finals and the league are basically just right. So for instance, the top of that table is Eagle. So they've won 1 league. They've come 3rd. They've won 1. They've won the league. They've come 3rd in the league. Sorry. Let me get this right. So
hello, come back. Welcome. Hello.
Yeah.
Welcome to the review show, people. Rich has now joined us.
As a club, overall, they've they're positioned either first, second, and third, and they've won a grand final. So that's four. That's 4 times they've placed in the top 3, either in the league or grand finals. So in the program, Pete, you get to see where you are in terms of your legacy within the league structure. So some teams in there, for instance, if Chester comes second, the under-13s come second, that means that'll be the 3rd time they come runner-up in our league.
Oh.
So they can look at that and go, we've come 3rd 3 times as a club in the in the ENG Youth Netball Premier League.
Oh, we need to win it.
That's what I'm saying. They can be proud of that as well. But it's just great. And then you throw a team like Stars in there, who are relatively new. They've won 1 league, so they've got 1 achievement. So they're probably like 3/4 down the table. But as a club who have just started out, they get to look at the clubs they're amongst. It's like, wow, we've got Kingswood Power, we've got Eagles, we've got Turnford, we've got Oldham, we've got Wyres, and we've got Chesters, and we've got AP Saints. We've got all these established clubs, and we're there. We're in
it. We're amongst it. Yeah.
So that's what it's. And then doing things like ones to watch in the program, doing interviews with the kids, building their legacy and building their kind of their platform and building the character and getting people to see what who these kids are and what they're about will only help just the league to be a lot more immersive, and for everyone to look from the outside in and be like, that's what my kid deserves.
Yeah.
That's what my child deserves. I want my child to be involved in that, because look at the platform, look at the amount of energy that's going into supporting their experience. So that's what this is all about. It's about building legacy. It's about building a platform where everyone feels that their work is being validated and it's being celebrated.
I'd like people to show me a league out there at youth level that has as much exposure as yours does.
There isn't one. 100%.
In the comments, people, please. give us. You never know, there might be one out there.
I think most people looking in, just for instance, if someone from a governing body from any sporting establishment was to look at our interviews, our review shows, the marketing, the content behind how we promote league and like the league games and stuff, they would look at that and think, how is he getting away with this? This is not in line with, kind of the ethics of modern day youth sport in this country. Because I can imagine in America, it's completely different.
That's a good point, actually. America, yeah, they're pretty push it all out there.
It's full on.
Yeah, definitely.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
So, but then you, once you learn that it's actually benefiting everyone, you realize the method behind the madness. It's not done just because we want to have a giggle and want to wind everyone up. It's done because I know with the right words and the right questions and the right intensity, you can bring things out in teams they didn't know they had. They just need the right environment to do it.
There is no doubt that's happened already. We've brought things out. They've expanded. They've done more. I mean, the extra player using the pole scenario. The bits we've done there, and just other like the pass backs or through the legs. Nobody's done the thing now. The nutmeg.
They're not brave enough, are they?
Still the championships to go, my friend.
But no, for me, the team, before we go, the team that represented why this league is beneficial and why it supports a more unpredictable environment was Chester.
Yes.
Well, Chester in particular, when they beat Oldham, because they piggybacked on kind of the pressure that was being built for that game, and they used it for their advantage. They knew if they got on top in that game, not only will the pressure inside the room be intense, but they knew that that win would be celebrated at a national level straight after. So they thought, right, this is a great opportunity to show everyone what we're about. And they took that opportunity and they ran with it and they got the job done. So Chester, for me, were the breakthrough team that showed me that with the right environment, it does support the more unpredictable outcome. And that's what it's all about. It's creating that unpredictability, because that's what sport's about. It's about the unpredictable outcome, isn't it? It's about watching the unbelievable happen.
Become believable. Yes.
Well, it's like life, isn't it? Like most people will, we're fascinated by the underdog story, aren't we? We're fascinated by watching people come from the bottom and rise to the top. Now, again, I'm 35 now, and I view life a lot differently to what I did 10 years ago or whatever. But in the modern version of success is being able to achieve a certain level of monetary value or career path or whatever. So when we see the underdog, the guy who was the dustbin man, and he rises to the CEO of a multi-million-pound company, and I knew someone who was a dustbin man and become a multi-millionaire, and he was a CEO of a waste management company. He actually sold it for 40 million quid, and he used to go into my pub. He worked for Biffa. Used to chat with him all the time. He actually worked at Heathrow when I was there as well, a baggage handler. And he had an idea, and he went from picking up bins with Biffa to owning his own waste management company and selling it for £40 million.
Wow.
But that's what fascinates us. Now, if people say in royalty, come on the screens and went, I've made 20 million today, you're not going to be bothered, because you're like, well, you're literally
put the taxes up.
Yeah.
And the fuel costs and the electricity and gas.
Yeah. they're at a certain position where they're expected to do well. You're 10 trillion steps in front of me. So sometimes when you see these teams who are notorious for winning, we're not as fascinated by them because we expect them to win anyway.
Yeah.
But when you see that team kind of show that they can still achieve what the big boys can achieve, that's what gives us hope, isn't it?
Like I would put it back. I say a lot of things about like Formula One. It's like you've got McLaren. That's what I usually support. But Brawn, well known in the Formula One circuit, but he created his own team and won it that year with Jenson Button. Won the, that was just like, and that was literally. Everybody read the instructions, the rules in one way, and he interpreted it and said, well, it doesn't say anything. I can't do this.
Yeah.
And that gave him the advantage for the first half of the season. It is that opportunity, isn't it, of seeing or checking or, checking for the chink in the armor. Chester's proved that. They've done their, their work behind the scenes, and they've concentrated, and they've right, push through. And that's why we sat there and go, wow, what's going on here? And especially against the Kingsway game, it's just like, put the work in, you will be rewarded.
Yeah, no, I agree.
10% of the time.
No, well, this is something I always say to everyone. Hard work, discipline, focus, preparation, all that can be on point, but nothing guarantees you anything.
Nothing.
It just gives you a better chance. Now, when we get to the grand finals, the reality of the situation is this: 90% of the teams will walk away like they felt they've lost. You can't get away from that reality. Only one team from each competition can win. One.
Yeah.
So only one team would be crowned the ultimate champion. There might be small victories within the big loss, but the big victory is we are number one. Now, only one team can achieve that. And when you go to these things, you've got to accept that as a reality. But at the same time, don't accept it, because you got a dream and you've got to kind of hope that the stars align for you. But as long as you do your work, you do the right preparation, you do
Be in the zone.
you be in the zone, you just do all the things right that you should be doing right, then at least then if it doesn't go the way you planned, you have no regrets. And I think having regrets is a lot harder to accept than losing because you just weren't good enough.
Yeah. You didn't give it your 100%.
Or just not doing the right, just not, like I said in my program notes, I said, no, we have the live stream platform, so no club coming to this competition today should be unprepared for who they're playing. No team should be able to say to me, Rich, we didn't know they had that player and they didn't know. You can't use that excuse. We've eradicated that excuse. There's no reason for any team not to be prepared for any game they're playing on
it's all there, it's all down, it's all ready for them. All they've got to do is watch, review,
precisely,
understand.
So
there's
no excuses. It's transparent. It's going to be good. But thank you to everyone who's been watching our review show throughout the season. This is the last one of the leagues before we move into our special series next week for the grand finals. I'm going to do a special quiz next week because I think knowledge is power. If you've got the knowledge, you've got the power. So we're going to reward one club next week who managed to win our quiz with a monetary prize, whether that be money off entering an ENG competition, or it could be putting money towards getting some kit for your club. We're going to see who has the knowledge, and we do something fun next week for the teams leading into the big under 12s, under 13s grand finals, national finals. If you haven't booked your tickets for the national finals, it'd be good if you can do that sooner rather than later, because it's always nice to know what we're dealing with in terms of numbers. Venues always ask me how many are coming so they can be prepared as well. Plus refreshments, we need to know what to buy, when to buy it. Programs, the same, how many programs need to purchase. So sooner rather than later, fantastic. But tickets will be open up until 24 hours before the event itself. So Friday before
the day.
We can buy them a day, but ideally, I'm not a big fan of that. I'd love to know what I have coming at me.
That'd be funny, but judging by the games that are going to be played, I'd be quite surprised if you're not sold out.
I doubt we'll be sold out. I'm not that lucky, unfortunately. But as long as we get a good turnout with a good atmosphere and a good support network for the teams, then that's all I.
Come on, you've got to be part of this. Root them on. Come on.
But yeah, it's going to be a good couple of weeks coming up. But thank you, Martin, for all your support.
Thank you, Richard, for inviting us along for the journey.
League games this Saturday, mate.
Hey, looking forward to it. Thank you all for watching. Do put in the comments, please. Don't forget to also follow us on all our social media platforms, which is, we've got Twitter, Instagram. You're on Facebook. I'm not. What else are you on? You on TikTok?
No. I'm just Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
There we go. And obviously YouTube as well. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, whatever. And we look forward to seeing people on Saturday. If not, being there on Saturday, do watch the live stream. And also next week, it looks like we have a quiz time.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Thank you very much. Catch you all soon. Thank you.
Bye.
I've got to press right button. There.